Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Stefan, and I'm joined by my broadcast colleague, the executive consultant, Chris Harris. And tonight, we bring to you unpopular reviews with our predictions for AEW All Out happening tomorrow night. So, Chris, how are you doing, sir?
Chris is doing excellent and fantastic, wonderful, spectacular, awesome, all at the same time. Steph, how are you doing today?
You really should feel that way. You were at SmackDown last night, so I would only expect for a person that's feeling so excellent to have been at SmackDown. Chanel, hello, how are you? Yes, he definitely was at SmackDown last night. So let's just get right into this, man. I want to ask you really quickly before we even start talking about the card itself. How excited are you for All Out? You know, we've had a lot of great pay-per-views in 2021. How excited are you for this year's All Out?
I can't tell you how excited I am because the words can't describe it. You know, I'm not usually one that looks forward to AEW pay-per-views like that, but this one I'm really excited for. I think the match quality is going to be really good. The card build-up wasn't there for me, but the quality of the matches themselves, I'm really excited for. I can't wait for it.
Sounds good. Okay, so we're going to start with the pre-show. It's the 10-man tag match. Best Friends in Jurassic Express versus the Hardy Family Office and the Hybrid. Obviously, like some really great teams that are competing. You have Matt Hardy, who is a seasoned vet, going up against who, in my opinion, is one of the most over people with most potential with a singles career, Orange Cassidy and Jurassic Express. Chris, who do you have winning and why?
All right, let's take a look at these teams. You got Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Jurassic Express. You have Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2. Orange Cassidy is a star. Jurassic Express are super, super over. It does not make sense, especially if I believe this is a kickoff match. I could be correct on that.
It is. It's pre-show.
If this is the match you're going with to start off the show, you want to start off hot, babyfaces have to go on this one. It just makes all the sense in the world for the babyfaces to go over there. The Hardy family office are going to do their part in putting them over, set the tone in the night with a hot Chicago crowd who might be a little exhausted because I swear they've been in Chicago for the past month.
Pretty much. They're getting that CM Punk money by being in Chicago. But my thing is, let's talk about Wheeler Yuta for a second and all the potential that Wheeler Yuta has. What do you think of Wheeler Yuta as a performer?
I think he's not memorable.
So
he's not memorable. He gets to the ring, and then I see him like, oh, it's Yuta, and then he leaves, and I forget about him again.
What did you say, sir? I'm sorry. Can you hear you?
That's my point. See, we talk about Yuta, and automatically everything tunes out. I got the guy who's backstage left because Stephen Willie Beamer was backstage, and then you couldn't hear him anymore. That's what I feel about Yuta.
That's terrible. That is terrible, sir. That is terrible.
Not,
I feel like he has all the potential in the world, and I'm really excited to see what's next for his career after this match. I really want to see him in singles action pretty soon and see what happens, with him eventually. I think he's a really great talent, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. The next match we'll talk about, probably the match that I am the least excited for. It is the Big Slow, a.k.a. Paul White, a.k.a. Mr. Turn himself, that got turned on last week, going up against QT Marshall.
You know, one thing I want to talk about this. We didn't talk about this. You and I did AEW together this past Wednesday. We did not talk enough about that vicious chair shot that Paul White got to him by Billy Gunn. We did
talk about that.
Well, it was so painful. It needs to be talked about again because I'm not sure Big Show's going to have what it takes to be in this match because he's still recovering off of that chair shot.
Look, what I'm going to say is this, right? This guy got turned on because he's always turning on people, and it's good. It's good. He's always turning on somebody, and deserves to be turned on. Thank you, Damon. What's going on? So I mean, this match I'm probably not anticipating as much. I really don't care about it. It's probably one of the matches on the card that I least care about. I really think, in my opinion, QT Marshall's probably going to go over, but knowing AEW, more than likely Paul White will get the W. But what do you think, Chris? What do you think is going over? Paul White, QT Marshall, we got.
If I want to be completely real for a second, Big Show. I mean, they signed him to a contract. He said, hey, I want to wrestle. Let's give him somebody to wrestle. Oh, here's QT Marshall. He can bump around. He can make the new moves in the match and take the L. And nobody will care.
Okay, the next match is the Forbidden Door protector, Jon Moxley. I will give him that moniker because he seems to be pretty much one of the only ones enjoying the benefits of the Forbidden Door, versus Kojima is happening this Sunday. I'm always happy and pleasantly surprised with Jon Moxley's performances. I feel as though he has built for himself after leaving WWE such a great career. I mean, he's revitalized his character and just himself, and he looks like he's having the time of his life. There was a backstage brawl with Kojima and him on Wednesday night, AEW. So tell me, Chris, who do you see winning this match? Who do you see going over?
Jon Moxley. He's not taking an L. He already took a couple L's this year. He lost his title. Well, that was last year, but he lost his title, and he's been on a slump. You know, he's had good matches still, but let's be real. Our co-host said earlier he's in the same position as he was in WWE, really, right? So he's there to help get New Japan over, to cross that bridge. But at the same time, this is a legend at the tail end of his career. He's just going there to put him over. That's all it's about. Dean Ambrose picking up this victory.
Okay. The next match is a match with huge implications for Chris Jericho. It is Chris Jericho versus MJF. Over the last 5-6 weeks, Chris Jericho has been versing off against what I feel is arguably one of the biggest heels in AEW, one of the people with the most star potential, one of the people that should be AEW champion already in MJF. MJF versus Chris Jericho, obviously, as the graphic says, the final fight. If Chris Jericho loses, he is never to wrestle again. He will simply commentate. This match has a lot of steam behind it, obviously, because whenever you hear career-ending match, you really think, all right, well, that person's going over. Obviously, we talked about this on AEW Dynamite Review, that Chris Jericho is going to go back on the road with Fozzy pretty soon. So that could have implications on the turnout of this match. And Chris Jericho's nearing the end of his career. So who do you think is the dub? Who do you think is the dub? You know?
QT wins, but not clean. That's a possibility, Damien. Acknowledge you. Okay, great. So this match can go either way. Smart money will tell you Chris Jericho's going to take the L again, right? Put MJF over, put him on that next hump, okay? Possibility, I can see that. Same time, though, Chris Jericho keeps losing, even though he's going in the tail end of the career and stuff like that. If he picks up the victory, it's going to shock some people. It's going to get some people talking. Chris Jericho's all about the swerve. So I can see Chris Jericho picking up this victory and then leaving another way, possibly by getting attacked backstage brutally. But I just can't put my money on it. So officially, I'm going to put Chris Jericho to take the L, but would not surprise me at all if he picks up the victory. It's going to be a feel-good story. The city of Chicago will love it. I'm telling you, it's a good possibility Jericho's walking away with victory. I want to do
the super opposite. I want to see MJF go over. I really feel like we said on AEW Dynamite, he's literally one big win away from being a megastar. And Chris Jericho and his feud, the 5 Labors of Jericho, was amazing. And just his character throughout, whether he was feuding with Jon Moxley or whether he was feuding with the Inner Circle, or infiltrating the Inner Circle just to get to this point. I feel like for either one of these men, it's the story ender in terms of the Inner Circle and also MJF's group. So I'd like to see MJF go over. I feel like he could use this for the remainder of his career. He could use it as one of the biggest accolades of his career, beating Chris Jericho and finishing sort of a feud that we've been watching over the course of, like I said, 5 to 6 weeks, probably even longer than that. Because he came in, beat Cody. Cody can't compete for the AEW World Championship. Then you put Chris Jericho on the shelf. These are literally an AEW big stepping stones towards a world championship reign eventually, which we know he's aiming towards, and eventually a face turn, possibly in the future. So I'm going to go MJF for this one. But tell us what you think, guys, before we take a quick commercial break. Who do you see winning this match between Chris Jericho and MJF? Damon says MJF needs to defeat a new megastar. Very good assessment. He does need to defeat a new megastar. But what about a gatekeeper sort of like Chris Jericho? Because Chris Jericho's kind of in that position where he's giving back to the business instead of taking from it. Not to sway anybody's opinion. Chris, are we ready to take a slight commercial break?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Review, AEW Prediction. AEW Prediction. I'm so used to saying results. Make sure you like, love, and share this. We'll be right back. Quick commercial break.
Years wise, how many did Punk have? He had a good 4, right? Good for him? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I would say 3.5.
Okay. And out of
Roman's been the top guy in WWE for 5 years.
Okay.
So like the top guy. Like Punk
I
was
know
the
this.
guy in fans, but he wasn't the guy in the company. Cena still was.
Listen, this is fans' throat. This is Roman.
First of all, that's CM Punk. That's
is this some more Roman? Is this some more Roman?
No, that bullshit
Get
is
in
gonna
there.
go. I'm gonna put myself in full mode right now because I'm gonna say it again. Any wrestler who's ever been number one in the company's eyes have been shoved down your throats like the peacock. And I love saying cock. And I don't mean in a broke back way.
Is he finished?
I'm done and I'm
okay, good, because we got some more Roman. Let's shove this down your throat some more too. What? Oh, look at this. 5th year in a row, some more Roman.
Acknowledge your tribal chief. Acknowledge your head of the table. That is what Mike Knox was trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. That was Around the Blocks with Mike Knox. You can watch it right here on Popular Review every Monday, 6 o'clock p.m. Himself as well as Z the Silent. They talk about everything. It's for the intelligent wrestling fan, which there are a lot of them are out there. I saw it firsthand this way tonight or today, all over wrestling Twitter and Facebook and all over social media with these fans making comments about my actions last night on SmackDown, as well as a lot of haters out there, but I'll address that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and talk about an AEW All Out tomorrow night. Can't wait for it. We talked about a couple matches. We got a couple more to come on. Stefan, take it away.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. And if you are just joining us for the first time, please like, love, share, subscribe to all your wrestling fan pages. If you're following us on YouTube, hit the little subscribe button. I want to remind you to do that. And thank you guys for joining us. The next match, which I think is a huge match for this person, a must-win situation for this person, it is CM Punk versus Darby Allin. CM Punk's first match back in about 7 years. Darby Allin is a really young talent. So now the question is, who goes over, Chris? Is it the veteran coming back for one last run, or is it the new generation superstar that needs a win? Obviously, we're looking at this match very closely because obviously it's happening in Chicago. CM Punk's first official match back. Darby Allin is always trying to kill himself in his matches. CM Punk says the most dangerous thing is versing off against him in Chicago. Sorry, Mickey Gall, obviously that wasn't pretty cool. So, what do you think is the result of this match, Chris? Do you think it is CM Punk going over Darby Allin?
No way in hell is CM Punk going over. I'm sorry. There's no way in hell is Darby Allin being CM Punk. You have one of the biggest stars in the wrestling world of all time, arguably, because it depends on how you want to look at his wrestling world, but come back after a 7-year run, breaking the internet. People were talking about him all over the place. People crying, memes of him, somebody crying for him and stuff like that. Why would you have him lose in the hometown that makes him so popular in the first place to Darby Allin? Darby Allin's a homegrown talent that's going to do great things in the AEW. However, this is not his time. This is the further storyline, which is going to lead to him being a heel and the splitting with the man they call Sting. That's all this is about. He can get in that ring. He can take a lot of bumps from CM Punk, who might have some ring rust because he hasn't wrestled in front of a crowd like that in 7 years. This is the perfect match for it. I'm really excited. They're going to put out a banger. This might be your match of the night. Okay, speaking of match of the night, it looks like I'm here by myself because Stefan seems to have been gone. So let's put the camera right here. That's where it deserves anyway. Let's go ahead and catch up with some of these comments. MJF needs to defeat a new megastar eventually. Yes, he does. Jericho by Elvis. I get what you're saying, but MJF versus Jericho 4 times. I know Jericho's given back at his point in his career, but I see Jericho walking away with the win. Once again, I completely agree with what you're saying. I can possibly see that happen. I'm still going to go with Punk, but I can see Jericho pulling that okie doke and walking away with the victory. And Ali could win. No way in hell. No way in hell. Stefan, are you back with us?
I am here with you, brother.
Okay, cool. Look like you were frozen again, bro.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're having internet issues. The city of New York. This always happens with the city of New York, I swear. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, All Out, 10 matches on the card. The big question is All Out AEW's a pay-per-view? Is it their version of WrestleMania? people can't seem to make up their minds, but they have a fan fest and everything going on. I don't know. I think All Out is their biggest pay-per-view. Stefan, are you finally back?
I am finally back.
What match do we have next? He is not finally back.
Who do you feel? What are some surprises you think we're going to get in this match?
I didn't even hear the match, bro. You froze.
The Women's Casino Battle Royale.
This one here?
This one here. What surprises do you think are in store for this one? You know, we see some.
Well, the rumor, of course, is going to be Ruby Riott or Ruby Soho, whatever you want to call it. But that's the rumor that's going down. She's going to come in. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Ruby Riott. Doesn't mean she's going to win. I, of course, want to see Jade Cargill take this victory here. But I'm going to go with the wild card. People are going to look at me like I'm crazy. I'm going with a wild card. I'm going with Tanera Conti.
Tay Conti. Okay. How about, let me ask you a question. We've heard a lot in terms of Tessa Blanchard. We've heard a lot in terms of Blanchard debuting for AEW, for WWE. Do you think this is the time that Tessa Blanchard comes back to the wrestling world?
No. She is preparing to come back. I do believe before the end of the year, we will see Tessa Blanchard. I will be really surprised to see her in AEW at this point. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, of course. You never know. You never know if somebody shows up. But if she does show up on AEW, it will not be this Sunday.
Yeah, so it'll not be this Sunday.
You know what? I haven't heard of anybody mention Tessa Blanchard until you came back to the show.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I miss her so much.
Nobody talks about her anymore.
I mean, I don't understand why nobody talks about her. You just all are such haters, such fickle fans. Another person that is rumored to be returning tomorrow or debuting tomorrow is Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. So do you think we're going to see that tomorrow?
Talking about here? No, not here. You talking about here? Not here. You talking about here? No, not here. What are you talking about?
Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson.
Daniel Bryan is going to make an appearance because they want something special. They want something memorable. Now's the time to bring him in and then prepare to set up for their event they're having on the 22nd in New York. So, yeah, Daniel Bryan is definitely showing up tomorrow night.
Okay, sounds good. So let's get to some of these title matches. The first title match I'd like to talk about is the TNT title. God's favorite champion, Miro, versus the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. I am super excited about this match because Miro has just turned his character up to freaking 20. He is literally, this character is rivaling his character from WWE. Not New Day. I was about to say New Day, but the one he had with Aiden English. Forgetting the gimmick he had with Aiden English. Chris, remind me, please. I'm drawing a blank. Really? You forgot?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Rusev Day. There it goes.
Oh, Rusev Day.
Okay, apparently he's a singer now. Chris Godoy, I think, is a Renaissance man. He's a man of many talents.
I can't do practically anything. That's true.
Exactly. So basically, this gimmick rivals that one, but in terms of just pure heel gimmick, that is something I feel like Miro's enjoying. You see him every week cutting fire promo, coming out, beating Fuego del Sol, like beating so many people and just being a dominant TNT champion, probably the most dominant that we've had recently. And then you have Eddie Kingston, the polar opposite of him, came out on Wednesday, said, your God sent me on as a punishment for you so that I can beat you. And every move that I have is a way to punish you and a way to get past you. So, Chris, my question to you in the audience is, who is walking out with this win? Are we keeping the title on Miro, or are we letting the Mad King take this title and moving Miro into the main event? What would you?
The beginning of this show, I said I'm excited about this card. I think it's a very good card. I think the match quality is going to be great. Then I get up to this match. Yeah, Rusev's walking away with the victory. They just need to give him something to do because they haven't done crap since he's won the TNT title, really. They gave him a feud with somebody who can speak on the mic, but does not deliver in the ring. And that's what's going to happen right now. It's going to be a very lackluster match. But if you think Kingston's going to walk away with that title, I got news for you. It is not good news. Miro's walking away still TNT champion.
Okay, that sounds.
I agree with you, Elvis, for once in your life. Go tell your children if you get any. Oh, I guess Stefan's frozen again.
I am here. I here. I heard you. Thank you for that crap. All right, the next match has two of your favorite wrestlers by far in the Lucha Bros. versus
I am.
the Young Bucks. What are your
Interesting.
high points about this match? What do you think is going to happen in this match?
I think we're going to see a lot of super kicks like any other damn Young Suck match, right? But the good thing about them is they're in the ring with the Lucha Brothers, who are arguably, to me, the best, if not the second best, tag team in all of wrestling. I still say it would be the Usos. But the Lucha Bros are spectacular, and they will make this match so entertaining. There's going to be a lot of false finishes in this match. Hold on to your hats and stay in your seats, because it will be a lot of false finishes. Like, oh, that should be it. I'm glad they put in the steel cage so it could just be tornado, because both of these team styles, that's their best match. Don't have rules. They don't believe in rules. They don't believe in a 5 count. They don't believe in attacks. So this is good. I think it's going to be a phenomenal match, but the Young Bucks will walk away the champions.
Young Bucks still walking away as champions.
Young Bucks are destined to lose those titles to Proud and Powerful.
Proud and Powerful. Very good choice. All right, so before this next match, I'm tempted to say, is there any match you feel is missing from this card before I talk about our 2 final championship matches? Do you think there's anything that could have been added to this pay-per-view?
Well, the hot money they have right now, the hot ticket is Aleister Black, and he's not there. So I would have found a few for him. Andrade versus Pac is a big loss, but there's nothing they can do to help.
Of course.
So that's a big loss on the card. Besides that, no, they're fine.
Okay. So we have the omission of Andrade, Malachi Black, and also Pac from this card. Obviously, huge loss with Andrade versus Pac. That match had a lot of steam behind it. Obviously, for what's going on with the Lucha Bros and the eventual turn the Lucha Bros are going to make on Pac to join Andrade in that all Mexican stable. The next match I'm going to speak about is our AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker DMD versus Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's Championship. Chris Statlander has just gotten back a few months ago. Obviously, a great talent, great friend to the best friends who are in a match in the pre-show. Britt Baker is probably the most over woman in all of AEW, gotten herself over so much these last few months. Her heel character, she literally systematically saved the I was going to say the Thunderdome era, but I guess I'll just say the Thunderdome era for AEW. So my question is, I know Britt Baker's walking out, but how do you see Chris Statlander stacking up to Britt Baker in this match?
It's going to be a rough one. It's not going to be boring. It's not going to be non-entertaining, I'll say, but don't expect a banger. Don't expect a classic match. The match is going to do what it needs to do, and that is to get Britt Baker a little bit more shine and have her have another successful title defense, because the money match between Britt Baker is going to be against Thunder Rosa. That is what they're working to. Yo, this freezing thing. It's like I don't know who I'm playing off. I'm playing off a frozen face, man. Are you with me? What's going on? Who you think? You said Britt Baker's going to
we are live. We are live. And I'm using the Burger King bandwidth, so I'm going to take the liberty of making fun of my brother's Wi-Fi for a second. But yes, definitely this match is going to put Britt Baker over until her eventual match with Thunder Rosa, which I think Thunder Rosa is going to win the AEW Women's Championship from Britt Baker. That's the only logical solution you have in this case. At least I think so, if that's the match you're working towards. But what I will
the money is in the match. The money will not be in Thunder Rosa beating her. The money will be in Britt Baker actually picking up the win after she lost to her during that classic thing that got Britt Baker to the level she's at right now. So Thunder Rosa will not.
Or you might go the route of, all right, well, I have your number and I beat you all the time, and lead to an even bigger match after that, because obviously they're going to have a blow-off match of some sort. So you could do.
The problem with that is AEW does not believe in hot potato title reigns.
Good point. I was thinking good point. Once again, guys, if you are just joining us, we are on Popular Reviews. We are talking about the All Out pay-per-view tomorrow. So just a couple of our weekly programs. At 6 p.m. on Monday, you have Around the Block with Mike Knox for the Intelligent Wrestling Fan. At 11 p.m., directly after Monday Night Raw, you have the Executive Consultant and the Ultimate Fan, Patrick Nelson, reviewing Raw. On Tuesday, you have Captain Shakespeare. Also, you have the Bad Guy Jack reviewing NXT. Wednesdays, you have AEW Dynamite with Big Daddy Cool and whoever his co-host is. Guess
The
they
technician,
usually
David Sanderson, is
the
now hosting.
technician
That's
is
the
back.
That's the new duo for AEW on Wednesdays.
New duo, obviously. And Friday nights, acknowledge your Friday Night Tribal Chief. That is myself, along with a guest for now. This Friday, it is not going to be me on. I'm going to be at Super SmackDown. So you guys.
Very good. Very good. Well, the part that Stefan's missing is his bandwidth was resetting again. Is this coming Tuesday in our sister channel UPRE is the Mulan review. That's once again sister channel UPRE on YouTube. So definitely give that a watch. And then of course on Thursday we're going to be reviewing a movie that I don't have the thumbnail for right now. But Wednesdays we do What If reviews. That's every single Wednesday. Right before AEW, if I remember correctly, but hey, I could be wrong. I don't know. And then let's see, there it is. Thursday. This Thursday is actually a classic movie, somewhat classic. Came out about 15 years ago. It's called Motorcycle Diaries. First time I've seen this movie. Can't wait to watch that and review that on Thursday. Then, of course, every Saturday, right before this show actually came on today, they actually were on a sister channel reviewing Invincible series from Amazon Prime. So a lot of stuff going on at our two YouTube channels, Unpopular Review as well as UPRE. Let's talk about the main event for AEW All Out tomorrow, which is none other than Kenny Omega defending his AEW World Championship with Don Callis in his corner against the Impact World Champion, Christian Cage. Stefan, how excited are you about this main event?
I'm really excited. I'm gonna be real. I'm really excited. We've already seen Kenny Omega versus Christian. We've seen Christian beat Kenny Omega one time. Can the Wonder Kid that wasn't supposed to be back in the wrestling ring come back and do it again? Can he beat arguably AEW's biggest superstar again? You know what I mean? And I think that's the question going in tomorrow night. Into tomorrow night, rather. Where do we stand with Kenny Omega? Is he going to still be the AEW champion after tomorrow night? Is he going to continue his title reign? You are obviously building to a feud between Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Do you pull the trigger on that tomorrow night? Do you have Kenny Omega go over and start planting those seeds for their next big pay-per-view? Obviously, because Hangman is actually another omission on this card, so he's not wrestling at all on this card. Neither is the Dark Order, which is a huge omission as well. So my thing is, are you going to pull the trigger given the fact that you're trying to have a lot of surprises? Or are you going to allow Christian to take the belt off of your champion? Chris,
well, it doesn't make sense to have Christian win the title. Like, this is one of the worst book feuds I've seen. And the reason is because, like I said before, Christian came out and he challenged and he beat Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship, which should have never happened. That pretty much says, spoiler alert, he's not beating him at all out for the AEW World title. That's not what that's about. So it kind of ruins it. But these two are going to put a good match. Kenny Omega put some great matches. Christian can outwork anyone. It's going to be a good match. So if you're sitting there trying to see, oh, what can happen? It can go either way. You already know the writing's on the wall. Watch it for the type of quality of match these two competitors are going to put on, and you'll be not disappointed. And that's what I'm going to look at it for, and I hope you as a wrestling fan will look at it that way too.
Definitely. And that is the whole All Out card. So now before we end the show, because obviously this is the quickest show we've had ever, I think. World record at 31 minutes. Chris, what do you want to talk about from this week in wrestling? What has stood out to you this week in professional wrestling, other than your?
Other than what? Stefan, are you there? Stefan, are you there? Oh, you're there. Hi. Welcome to the show. Oh, he's not there. Yeah, you have the perfect thumbnail. Like every 5 seconds, you have a profile picture on one of your social media networks.
So,
I said every 5 seconds you have a perfect profile picture for one of your social media things because you freeze up. You'd be like, that's you.
It really is, and I apologize. I'm
Not
leading.
your fault.
Obviously, tonight, me leading equals bad bandwidth and broadband connections. So it wouldn't be an originals episode without it. So I welcome the energy back. So, Chris, what is your standout moment of the week? Let's just do that.
Chris at SmackDown. What else good? Chris was sitting there, front row center for Friday Night SmackDown. Had a great time. Got to see the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Got to see Bianca Belair, the EST. Got to see the Usos. It was a very good time in Jacksonville last night. That was a highlight. Also, a highlight of the week for me was that was it. It was just that.
Speaking of Jacksonville last night, speaking of SmackDown, obviously I wasn't on the show yesterday. I want to talk about one moment from SmackDown, and I'm gonna talk about it lightly. It was when Brock Lesnar's theme hit Paul Heyman's phone, and Big E was dressed as a janitor in the corner. How hard did you laugh during that segment? Because I know they might have shown it on the screen. How funny was that?
Fun fact, I didn't really hear that segment. I saw it, of course. I didn't really hear it because, unfortunately, the sound system and the sound quality in that arena was terrible. So I didn't. All the backstage segments, I didn't hear that well. When they were doing in-ring interviews, like during Bianca and Becky Lynch, I didn't hear them that clearly either. It's just the sound quality in that arena was terrible. Much better in Orlando, much better in Tampa. They'll be in Miami on Monday. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make that one. I was thinking I actually could make it if I wanted to, but I'm not going to make it. That's irresponsible of me. But Jacksonville had a horrible thing. But it was a great time. Had a lot of fun. Maybe go again. Maybe next time I go to Jacksonville will be for an AEW show. We'll see.
This man here, and if you haven't seen the video of Chris Harris, please go out of your way to find that video of him yelling at fans, saying acknowledge their tribal chief. Obviously, a girl was in the crowd and said, I like your title, whatever, a fellow audience member. So, Chris, are you still with me?
Yeah.
Chris paused up for a minute.
I keep getting messages.
I'm playing off.
I keep getting messages from people telling me about yesterday. It's like ridiculous. Like all these people out of work.
Speaking of yesterday, do you want to explain to the people what you were doing at SmackDown? I don't know if you have a video of your video uploaded here so we could show the fans on the Popular Reviews what you were doing yesterday at SmackDown Live. But do you want to describe to the people what you were doing at SmackDown yesterday?
I was watching the show. What do you mean? I was sitting in my seat watching the show. Watching SmackDown. What are you talking about?
What else were you doing? What else you were doing when Roman Reigns came out there? What were you doing when Roman Reigns came out there?
I was acknowledging my tribal chief.
Were you just simply acknowledging your tribal chief? Were you influencing other audience members, paying?
You know what? Let me tell you something. Sometimes people are disrespectful, so they're not acknowledging their tribal chief. They're not realizing that he's the reason why everybody at that arena ate that day, right? So I'm letting them know what's going on. That's all.
He's a very loyal subject of the tribal chief. So I believe you have heavy connections to the WWE, to the E. And hopefully one day you'll be like a bag holder for the tribal chief or, a coffee runner for the tribal chief or a flight guy for the tribal chief.
Kayfabe or shoot, let me tell you something right now. Chris ain't holding nobody's bags, okay? I'll tell you that right now. All right? Ain't happening. All right? You get your acknowledgement. That's it. All right, you get your acknowledgement for having, in my opinion, the greatest world title run in wrestling history. That's all.
Chris definitely. I have never seen Chris mark out for a wrestler. Damon says the Ball Rock wannabe. The Ball Rock wannabe in your role looks like Flo Rida.
Could have been. Don't remember.
Could have been Flo Rida. We don't know. We shall never know. I would say the top moment of the week for me in terms of wrestling was that Big E moment. I feel like they're teasing Brock Lesnar coming back extremely well. Next Friday, I will actually be at SmackDown on Madison Square Garden. So I and my associates are hoping that Brock Lesnar and everybody's there. Actually in MSG. So I'm not too sure, Chris. You have the insider scoop. Are they all going to MSG next week for SmackDown or?
Yes.
Or is it two? Or is it like two separate shows?
No, it's going to be a lot of them are going to be backstage for SmackDown. I'm not sure how many of them are going to appear, but because the following night they're going to be in DC for a show, they're going to be in New York the night before because it's an easy commute. As I know, it's an easy commute from New York to DC.
Okay, so they're going to get a lot of Raw superstars back there, a lot of SmackDown.
Correct,
superstars.
but I'm not sure how many of them will be on air. That is not known yet.
Okay.
Because they are, if you look at the card for SmackDown, because they already announced it in Madison Square Garden, they have a lot already booked. So I don't know how much space you have for AJ Styles or Drew McIntyre at this point.
Exactly. My question is Brock coming? Like, because we know that it correlates with the episode of SmackDown itself. Do you foresee Brock Lesnar being in MSG this Friday?
He will definitely be at MSG this Friday.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to get physical. I'm not sure what they're building to. I'm assuming that Brock Lesnar not John Cena. I'm assuming Brock Lesnar is going to fight Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, but I could be wrong.
I think there was teases of the Demon King this Friday returning.
I think teases of the Demon King. I think Roman Reigns is facing the Demon on Extreme Rules. I think that's that match. But I think the one after that, the pay-per-view next month in Saudi Arabia, will be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
My thing is all right, so this is another question because obviously I'm a wrestling fan and you think of
he was there. He was in the front row. Keep going, I'm listening.
You think of Roman Reigns and his streak, but you also think of Finn Balor's streak with the Demon King gimmick. Demon King has never been defeated. Demon King was literally what we were hoping Finn Balor would come back to WWE television and bring against The Fiend and get his win back against The Fiend at possibly this year's SummerSlam before Bray Wyatt was unceremoniously fired from WWE. Now, speaking of that, do you think that puts Roman's title reign in trouble because of Finn Balor's streak with the Demon King and not ever taking an L? Or do you just put out the fire of the Demon King once and for all and have the Tribal Chief steamroll over him?
He's not going to steamroll over him. I mean, one thing I can say about Roman Reigns is, and this is why I respect his reign, no pun intended, so much, is the fact that, yeah, he's wrestled all of these people, he's beaten all these people, but he is not like ran over any of them. You know, he's put over a lot of them in the matches. He had great matches with Kevin Owens. He had great matches. He had a great match with Cesaro. He had good matches with Edge, John Cena. Like, everybody he's wrestled, yeah, he won. Yeah, he moved on. But he had good matches with each and every single one. The match last night with Finn Balor was very, very good. He'll do a very good job with the Demon King. He'll make it look like the Demon King is going to have a chance to beat him. It's going to be a great match. But you're not putting that title on. You're not taking the title off of Roman Reigns and putting it on the Demon King. If you look at the roster right now where everybody is, as far as the pecking order, there is no one that you can sit here and say, you know what, this is the guy that's going to take the title off of Roman Reigns next week. There's nobody. Nobody's even close. And that's what's so spectacular about Roman Reigns' title.
I beg to say Brock Lesnar. I'd beg to see Brock Lesnar.
No.
I beg to see Brock.
Brock Lesnar's there to take an L.
If you're saying Brock is there to take an L, he has 8 matches, obviously, on this new contract. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, there is running back potential for these two, and obviously, he's beat Roman's ass before. So, my thing would be, and I agree with Dan, Reigns could have lost a few matches he had.
No.
Big E more than likely is transitioning to Raw. And I want to see him cash in.
Big E's taking that WWE title off of Lashley. He's not ready for Roman Reigns.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see Big E go to Raw and take that title off of Lashley. I feel like in terms of comeuppance for what Lashley did to the New Day itself, and pretty much dismantling the New Day on Monday night. So there is that. Once again, you are joining us for Unpopular Reviews. Right now, we'll take a quick commercial break before we come down and wrap the show up. Chris?
For the first time I saw his vest today, it said no more BS. I said, motherfucker, please. Like, if I go to the grocery store and I say, hey, do you know Paul White? People say, who is that, your neighbor? No. But if I say, do you know Big Show? They're going to know who I'm talking about. What the fuck you mean, no more BS? You act like WWE didn't make you a fucking star.
This motherfucker, when the Hall of Fame comes calling, like, he ain't going to be crying like Big Show inducted, and he's going to be like, oh, thank you, Vince. Oh, my God.
Big Show is a known wrestler because of WWE. What the fuck you mean? Mother effer, you had a Netflix show that was called Go Big Show or some shit like that. The Big Show show. Like, let's say Paul White show. That shit would have got in. Like, yeah, right. He was known as the Giant, and people started shitting on Big Show when he first went to WWE. Like, Big Show, that's a terrible name. That's a terrible name. A couple years into it, he was known as Big Show. Then they started trying to call him the Giant again. But everybody still called him the Big Show. Why? Because, well, it's the Big Show. Like, come on. I don't understand.
Oh, shit. Chris, you on one tonight, man.
That man over there went off on Paul White. I'm looking for that dude. But thank you for once again for joining us. Some popular reviews. If you are just joining us on Facebook, Instagram Live, YouTube, please like, love, share, subscribe, hit the subscribe button so we can continue putting out great content like this. If you haven't already, please visit our sister brand, UPRE, and check out what they're doing over there. We have shows pretty much every single night, including tomorrow night directly after the All Out pay-per-view. So please join us for that. Monday night, Around the Block with Mike Knox. Monday evening, Raw, Chris Harris, Patrick Nelson, the Ultimate Fan. Tuesday, Captain Shakespeare, The Bad Guy, NXT Review. Wednesdays, The Technician, David Sanderson with Big Daddy Cool. For AEW Dynamite, Friday night, myself and a guest at Knowledge Friday nights. And once again, UPRE with a whole caliber of great things, especially this Tuesday night with the Mulan review. Also, Wednesday, I believe it is Motorcycle Diaries. Am I messing up here? Because
you are, but you try because I understand you're new, and when you left, we weren't running all of these daggone shows. We have a lot of shows now.
It's simple to say we have Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah,
now we got
stuff all over the place. We got, because you know what? I forgot one more show we talked about it. On Wednesdays, we also have The Challenge, MTV's The Challenge, starring Mike Knox as well as Captain Shakespeare. If you're a fan of this one, go ahead and tune into that immediately after the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to us. Make sure if you have not done so already, like us on all our social media, whether it be Twitter, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, you name it, we're on it, except for Snapchat. Thank you. For Steph, I'm the exec consultant. We will see you next time right here on Popular Review. Night, everybody.